1. Okay. Three, two, one. Okay. Okay.
Hello everybody. Before we get started, as always, I want to give a shout out to the lovely music you've been listening to during free streaming here. And this is Dreamer by Deuscain DP. You can find their information in the lower left hand corner of the screen. Thank you to Declan and everybody like them who makes either free to use or low cost assets for streamers so we can have better streams. Thank you very much. Hacha! Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever it is in your part of the world. I am Deuscain, your variety tape streamer for the night, and tonight, we're just going to chat a little bit. We're just going to talk. We're just going to have a conversation. I do have a new toy that I might play with a little bit. Little idea, little live form content, maybe, kind of, sort of. But we'll chat a little bit first. But yeah, how you doing? Also, congratulations to Void Star Official. You were first. And you had the redemption to prove it. So, haha. I really do need to start celebrating that one more often. Excuse me. But, how are you all doing this fine night? I am doing alright. Still a little throaty, still a little sinusy, still a little COVID-y. But not too bad otherwise. And very much on the mend. Like, every day I feel even better. Like, by, Sunday, Monday, I was at a good, 80, 90%. And it's just creeping up point by point now. It's just the last, couple percentage of points of getting over COVID is just annoying. And probably being affected by, me not getting enough sleep and things like that. So, yeah. But... But otherwise, I'm doing pretty good. Nothing too crazy. These Tuesday streams are always kind of fun for any kind of news or announcements or anything like that coming in at the start of stream, because I just streamed yesterday and there's nothing new to say. And no. Yeah, nothing significant from last night. We are making progress on Tavern Talk. I think we've maybe got 2 or 3 more weeks on that till we're done. I think that might be about all we have left. So by September, we might be switching to something new there. And then Wargroove, I thought Wargroove would be longer. It might actually be shorter than what I think it is. Because I looked up the number of missions in Wargroove. Yeah, because they have a thing for the main campaign. It talks about the number of... Oh, here we are. Contents. So I just finished Act 4. I'm starting Act 5. We got 2 main missions. 1, 2, 3 missions in Act 6. And then 2 missions in Act 7 with an epilogue, maybe? So Wargroove's actually beatable. Because I can do 1 to 2 missions a night for that one, depending on what it is. I think on Friday I only did 1, just because, it just takes the stuffing out of me. I was a lot less COVID recovered that night, and those Wargroove missions take forever. It's an hour to an hour and a half to clear them. Even, hustling and bustling. It just takes forever. I am not a fast... RTS style gamer. I'm never gonna go quick. But yeah, we should be finishing those up soon, which means I need to start thinking about some new games to play. I'm hoping we get some more information about Bloomtown before then, but we'll see about that. They have been persistently stubborn about updating Steam with a release date, and that vexes me much. That really vexes me greatly. But they did say Q3 of this year, so we'll see. We'll see. But I might start Persona 5 after that, because I've been looking for something a little longer, looking for something a little bit more RPG-er. Definitely been looking for, like, it's weird because I've been trying to like find something to play in my off time, and I've had like such a craving for something, and I can't figure out what it is. All I know is like I want to play something that uses a controller. Like I can tell that because like I'm looking at my like setup here, and I'm like looking at the keyboard and mouse, going like I don't want to play Stardew Valley with keyboard and mouse, and I don't really want to learn the game again in controller. So I don't want to play Stardew. So it's odd. It's such an odd feeling of knowing I want a certain interface and not anything else. But it's not like a type of game. I haven't been able to nail it down. So we'll see. We'll see. Oh my goodness. But, yeah, I'm not sure where I would go next and what I would do next after that. Yes. Maybe I'll pick up Vampire Therapist as a fun little visual novel to play with. Maybe I'll just do, like, heavily Persona for a while. And then, like, tie in Bloomtown when that's out. That might be a good idea. But I don't know. It's a question. It's always a question of like what to do on stream, what to play. I know I've been seeing a lot of people play Mech Break for the last little bit because there's a playtest for that out right now. I still have to actually jump in and play it. I don't know when I'm going to be able to have a chance to do that. Probably not until after the playtest is over. That's usually how it works. Oh my goodness. You slow down and you start just getting sweepy. Just start getting sweepy. But hey, thanks, Robbie. I will try and have a good stream. Hey, Sable. You mentioned do a visual novel or something yourself sometime. Nice, nice. I could give you a few recommendations, Sable. There's some good ones out there. I've actually got a couple of visual novels saved up that like I could jump into. It's just a question of like, is that something I want to do, or do I want to do like more? Like here was an idea for something I was gonna do for my Tuesday streams. I was gonna do like nights where I was like practicing different voices and like trying to improve like my voice acting and things like that as like a prep to do like more visual novel style stuff. And then COVID happened, and I'm like, I should rest my voice first and not like strain it super much, because I've, you know, as much as I feel, I'm like, yeah, I feel pretty good now. I'm like, I also just said COVID last week. I should probably like not push myself, and I hate to have to remind myself to do that, but I should wait like another week or two before I even try to do something like that. And I actually like need to research like, oh, what do you do for accents? What do you do for this, for that, for these things? So, it'll be interesting. Voice acting part is what's got you itching for. It's really fun. Well, maybe we should do a collab sometime. You, me, and a couple other people, and sit there and like voice a couple roles and stuff. I know the Monster Prom games, Monster Prom, Monster Camp, and Monster Road Trip, are real good for voice acting because you can get a whole bunch of different voices depending on like the different characters. So, those I've seen VA people do those. And they're lots of fun. So yeah, I'll reach out to you about it sometime. I'll make a note to do that, actually. I also know I need to get you that information about that commission that I won as a prize from you. So I have to do that. It's in your backlog, Monster Prom. The Monster Prom games are good. I liked it a little bit more in like 2 and 3. Like Monster Camp and Monster Road Trip I liked more than Prom. But that's just my personal preference. But the base Monster Prom is good too. Yes. Making some notes here. Controller RPG. Have you ever heard or played of AI Somnium Files? I don't think I played that one. Let's see what I can find. Assuming Steam works right now. Tuesdays are a notoriously bad night for Steam. AI Somnium Files. Would recommend. Ooh. Play as Detective Kaname Date on the case of an elusive serial killer in this thrilling sci-fi murder mystery. Interesting. Interesting. Imagine crime solving using Inception. Ooh, nice. It's a neat little gimmick. It's one of those things that always kind of makes like puzzle games like that interesting, is like what kind of mechanics or twists or things like that they put in there. Because each one's a little bit different. Like the Ace Attorney games, if you understand the puns and jokes in some people's names, those games are tremendously funnier. Like, some of them are just like very obviously goofy names, and others you have to like look it up and like get to understand the joke. And once you do, it's friggin' hilarious, even more so than normal. Yeah. But yeah, love puns. Took a while for you to understand Detective Gumshoe because I didn't know Dick and Gumshoe were different words for detective. Yes. Yes. Gumshoe is a dick and Dick is a gumshoe. Isn't his name Detective Dick Gumshoe? Like, isn't it something like that? Like, it's like he's detective. Like, I feel like it's something like that. What about Frog Detective? Cute little short series. Yes, his name is Dick Gumshoe. So he is detective. Oh my god. Yes. Frog Detective's a cute little series. Nice. Yeah, it's always hard finding like that thing that like really hits the spot for like what you're looking for. Like, and sometimes you don't even know, because like that's kind of where I'm struggling right now. Is like, I want to play something in my off time. I just don't know what, and I can't really like. I can't wrap my head around it. Like it's very elusive. I don't know what I'm looking for. Oh, which is funny because compared to last year, like I had a ton of options. These days, there haven't been many games that struck my fancy or have had me anticipating. You think I would love Shadows of Doubt? I think I have that on my list somewhere. It's either on my... I do recognize that name, Robbie. Shadows of Doubt is on my wish list as early access, yeah. Yeah, that's on there. That's on my radar. Get your pegboard and string boxes out of Pepe and Silva box. Oh, Jesus. Nice. Bakery simulator. Oh, simulator. I thought it was like singular. I'm like, ooh, fancy. No, bakery simulator. Oh, God. Why can't I stop yawning? Dear Lord. Knock it off. But no, actually, a little bit earlier today at lunch, I broke out the old Hollow Knight again, making you sleepy. I'm sorry. I'm comfortable in a nice, cool room after a long day at work. My body's like, and now the Odin sleep. And I'm like, no, body, we can't Odin sleep. We have to stream. So, there. Let's see, what else have I been doing lately? Oh, I did get some good news back about that that shipment of VTuber merch that I put in. I ordered a shipment of VTuber merch, like $100 worth of it, back in July, and it was supposed to have arrived in 5 to 8 business days, and it's not here yet. So after it passed the delivery mark, I reached out to the vendor and I explained, hey, your message said it shipped on this date. It should have been here in 5 to 8 days. It's not here yet. It's been 2 weeks. What's going on? And I finally got a response this morning from them. Technically, it was just past midnight last night. So yeah, like first thing today, basically saying, hey, you know, sometimes it runs a little late. Give it another week. If it hasn't come by the end of this week, message me again and we'll work on sending you a replacement. And I'm like, yes. Yes. Good customer service. I appreciate it. So that's a good thing, because I was worried about that one. Oh Lord, I'm coming, Ravi. I'm coming. Sometimes you get lucky and you get two. It's that ASMR. Hey, Ravi, you remembered my little name for that. Or did you make that up on your own? Because that was going to be my name if I ever did like an ASMR channel. Would be ASMR. Because it just writes itself. It's great. I love it. Yes, my steamy books. My God. I need to do, hey, congrats on catching it, Robbie. I need to do a stream night sometime where I actually read more of my work. That'd be like a fun thing to do for a Tuesday stream. I was debating that for like tonight, but I actually have a different thing planned. And totally not because I want to film content and record some stuff. So, but no, actually what I thought I would do is I found a thing online that I don't know the tech it's using. I don't know if it's using generative AI or any BS like that. But it is a site for generating short stories, ideas, and things like that. So like I can just press a button and it'll give me a prompt. And I think I might do some improv storytelling tonight. If that sounds like a good idea. Like maybe just a couple minutes here or there with each prompt, just to see what I can come up with. Ooh, yeah. Because there's a first line generator. Yeah, it's basically just like generating the first line is what it does. So it's a neat little like press one button and the site does something. But I, again, do not know how it works. I found it earlier today. So I'm just like, I will play with this. Yes. Let me take a drink now. Let's see. Shall we do a prompt? Shall we do a prompt? So I'm going to jump in with a prompt. Kind of want to do one. Well, let's do one. Let's jump in and see if I can put my money where my mouth is. Good writer headspace. It had never entered his head that his son was not his own blood. But the test results were clear. No DNA match. They weren't related at all. Now, ordinarily, this would be the child looking at the results, thinking that, oh, I guess I'm just adopted and my parents never told me, but for your own child, the one you raised yourself for all those years, what do you do? What do you say in the face of that? How do you confront the ones you love in the face of such betrayal? Did they even know? What had happened? Where had he gone wrong? The crushing weight of it all just felt like a vice on his chest, and it squeezed tighter and tighter as he tried to keep the tears out of his eyes. He didn't want to cry now. Maybe he'd cry later, but he didn't want to cry now. Except he did. And even though the anger that would have been a comfort from painful feelings flickered dimly in the back of his mind, his heart opened up like a rain cloud, and he wept for the son that was not his own blood. Okay, that one was a little bit rough. Not super happy with it. Also, literally, I'm pressing the button. I'm like, I have no idea what these are going to be. The last one was like somebody listening to people laugh and being like, kind of sad and grumpy about it. I'm like, oh, moved to a new city and they don't have anybody to talk to and they're lonely and they don't have any friends. And this one's like, your son is not your own blood. I'm like, oh, damn, that bitch cheated on me. Like, I guess we're getting real with this. Oh, my God. The roof is not my son, but I will raise it. Damn right, Robbie. Oh, I like that one. That one's good. The roof is not my son, but I will raise it. Oh my God. I am writing that one down, Robbie. That one's too good to just disappear into the void. Alright, let's try another one. He didn't reply, and she immediately thought, they've got him and now they're coming for me. She knew it was a terrible idea to skip out on school like this. They'd get caught, but she did it anyways. It's always such a bore there. It's such a drag. And detention was the worst of all. Being forced to sit in a room all by yourself or with a couple other fellow inmates whom you can't talk to, all under the watchful eye of a warden who looked like he just sucked on a lemon. So, 2 bathroom trips later and an open window and they made their escape. Or so they thought. But the noises quickly followed close behind them, and they hid. And there, as the sun sank lower, she whispered out, calling his name. And when he didn't reply, she immediately thought, they've got him, and now they're coming for me. Little better for that one. Didn't immediately go to like doom and gloom, just kids running away from school. Yeah, I actually did a series of that kind of stuff with my writing. I would take a word and I would let me bring up my site here. I would take a word, I would write down the first couple words that came to mind. Here's an example of one I did. What I wrote down was I wrote down a color for my writing and my poetry. I wrote down a color, and I wrote down the first 3 words that came to mind, and then I wrote something around those words and that color. And for many of the oldest ones, I don't remember what they were about, but this one I do. The color was black. And the words that came to mind were eyes, heart, and ambition. And from those words, I wrote this poem. The deepest dark cannot compare to the midnight in my eyes, a haunting herald that falls short of my ambitions realized. And when my rancid, wretched heart is for all publicized, you'll all search lexicons in vain for meaning in my ebon eyes. Spooky, eh? But black eyes, black heart, and black ambition. Do like it. I do like it. I remember what other ones I did that were based on prompts. Yeah, like that kind of stuff. Yeah, I thought you might like that one, Fable. Sable. God, I keep calling you Fable after that damn game. I hate it. Getting people's names wrong. Let me see. Oh, speaking of that, actually, I do have a thing to read that I think you would like, Sable. So, this one is a bit of a story. A writer friend of mine shared a Reader's Digest writing prompt with me, and it wanted you to begin the story with the phrase, "The difference is I lie for a reason." And I liked the idea of that, but the first thing I wrote, I didn't work quite the same way. I did still build it off of that prompt, but I just didn't start it with that. So this is something I wrote, not a poem, an actual nah, it's not an essay. It's like a flash fiction kind of thing. But based off of the prompt, I lie for a reason. Or the difference is I lie for a reason. People tell a lot of lies. Some lie to others, others lie to themselves. Some tell white lies, while others spread the darkest gossip. I'm not like any of them, though. The difference is I lie for a reason. I lie for a man, a father, on his deathbed. I tell him I love you. He smiles. I'm not sure if he knows I'm lying. And I lie for a woman, her hair streaked with gray. I tell her, you were a good wife, a good mother. She says nothing. I know she knows I'm lying, but I lie anyway, and I hope I can convince her otherwise. I lie to a girl who lied to me. Once upon a time, she told me she loved me. She didn't. Now she tells me her boyfriend doesn't beat her. He does. But I lie to her and tell her I don't remember the last time I saw him. I do. The last time I saw him, the whites of his eyes shone like 2 full moons right after I told him a truth that left the night hushed like the twin kisses of a double-barrel shotgun. The last time I saw him, he looked like a Jackson Pollock painting of the invasion of Normandy. Last time I saw him, he ran out of lies to tell me as I threw one last shovelful of dirt on an unmarked grave in the middle of nowhere. How could you do it, you ask? Maybe I'm just a stone-cold bastard. Maybe not. Anyway, that's not the question you should be asking. Did you get the girl? No. But I keep an eye on her. I listen to her lie to her acquaintances and say that she left him, and lie to her friends and say that he ran off with another woman. Neither are true, and she knows that. But she lies to them and to herself, out of habit or maybe just to make it through the day. But that's not the right question either. Do I think I'll ever get caught? Of course not. Most criminals don't, not that I think I am one. But for all the red this confession seems to paint on my hands, no one will ever find a body. Even if the cops bring me to the station, they'll never get the story out of me. Nothing will come of it. Anyway, that's still not the right question. Why did you do it? Now that's a better question. Maybe I did it for the girl. Maybe I did it for myself. Maybe I'm mad. Or maybe I'm the last righteous man in a world full of liars. Maybe you'll never know. Because when I lie for a reason. And what if I'm lying to you? Right here, right now, tonight. Now that's the right question. Because any other one? Well, how could you believe a word that I say? I'm a liar, after all. And that's my piece. I lie for a reason. I am disproportionately happy with how that particular piece turned out when I wrote it. That one's good shit. Because it's just like spooky and scary, and like you just have this like hairs standing up on your arm as the story continues on, of just like a very scary person looking at you a bit too closely, and you're like, I'm in danger. But ooh, I did good work with that one. You really like that. I like the characters that kind of have a dangerous mystery to them. Yeah, it's fun with that one because again, it's subverting expectations and unreliable narrators. Yeah, that can be fun because it is, like I said, it's about subverting expectations, because you start off with somebody being like, yeah, people lie for all kinds of reasons, and then you start like, yeah, I lie to my dad, I lie to my mom, I lie to this girl, I say all these things left, I lie to her and say these things. She lies to me and says those things. She asked me last time I saw her boyfriend. I said I couldn't remember. Oh, I did. And then you just have this paragraph that completely breaks the context of the rest of the story, and it just comes out of nowhere. And then in the following section after that, when the reader's kind of like shaking and is looking for a place to stand on, that's when the narrator is just like, so what's the right question? Nope, not the right question. That's not the right question either. Ooh, getting close, but still not there. Listen, should you really believe a damn thing I'm telling you? I'm lying after all. And you just get to the end, you're like, I have no idea if you've bamboozled me this whole time or are just the most stone cold psychopath ever. I hate this about this. So that's because I remember like listening to like somebody explain like Penn and Teller skits where like they establish something. Sable is the definition of stone cold psycho. Be nice, Ravi. Like Penn and not Penn and Teller. Keenan and Peele. Keenan and Peele is what it was. Keenan and Peele, where like they establish a baseline for the world, and then they break that, like when they shift to like the second act of the joke, and then they break it again to the third act. So like an example of it I remember them using was like there was one where the guy went to the doctor's office, and the doctor's like, I'm sorry, your mother's got cancer. And it cuts over to the other guy, and he's just hooting and hollering and celebrating and laughing and cheering. And it's not what you're expecting. Like they subvert your expectations because the reaction is just very different. And then over the course of the repeated interactions with the doctors acting very straight-laced, the doctors, being the serious one in the scene, and the guy's kind of like, wait, doc, what are you saying? Is my mom okay? And the doctor said, like the joke ends with the doctor saying, well, I don't know. I really couldn't tell what she was saying with her dick in my mouth. Or with my dick in her mouth. Or it's like something like that. And it's just like, wait, what, doctor? What the fuck did you just say? And it's the straight man in the scene ends up not being the straight man in the scene, and that just kind of subverts the expectations again. So it's good stuff. Key and Peele, yeah. You can tell I don't watch them much. But let's see here. You know what? Let's do another prompt. I like this one. The pen hadn't been worth stealing. He thought this to himself as he wrote the next line of his essay on morality, on ethics, on not stealing. 5,000 words they made him write. Between the apology letter, the essay, and just writing lines on the page of I shall not steal, I shall not steal, I shall not steal. Over and over again, and when he slowed down, they whacked his damn hands with that fucking ruler again. And the worst thing of it all, they made him write all this with a pen he took. And they said, if you're gonna take it, you're gonna use it. And you're gonna keep writing till the pen dries up. It lasted longer than 5,000 words. Not too bad. I like the idea of that. We're just like, somebody steals something, you're like, well, we can't return it. Like, we're not going to return it. We could. But instead, we're going to make you use the thing that you took and just absolutely ruin your happiness with it. There's a certain irony to that kind of punishment. You steal a pen? Great. We're going to make you write an essay on how bad stealing is using the pen you stole. Because fuck you, that's why. That's the sort of bastard punishment that I would do to somebody. Oh, man. Be careful what you wish for kind of ending. Yeah, a little bit. Making somebody regret their actions in unpleasant ways. Here. What's one of my favorite genres of stories? Well, I tend to read a lot of like sci-fi and fantasy, more so than like other stuff. It's actually kind of funny. I'm part of like Amazon Prime. I get like a free book every month, and so many of them are like suspense or drama. And at one point, they started including something that they referred to as book club fiction. I have no idea what that is, but I'm a big old sci-fi and fantasy nerd. Like a little bit of both. I don't actually have a preference between the two, but yeah, generally, give me something fantastical or futuristic or both. Occasionally there's both. I read one series of books that was basically about like angel people in like this like reborn society, but as you read more books in the series, it's actually like fully sci-fi, and they just got in a spaceship and flew somewhere. And the spaceship did a fucky wucky and woke them up from like cryo sleep at a planet that really wasn't a good fit.
but if they went back into cryosleep again, like the mortality rate was so high that they're like, we're gonna have to make it work, otherwise we're all just gonna die anyways. So basically, like, they used the high technology they had at the time to genetically alter people to have wings. And what they would do is they would fly high in the atmosphere and sing, and the notes that they would sing would basically be like programming code and commands to the ship to like launch chemicals and stuff that would affect the atmosphere and soothe the weather patterns of the planet, because that was really like the problem. Like, the planet was habitable, but it was not hospitable. Like, it just had really, really bad weather patterns, and basically they just used the ship to alter the clouds and things like that to try and make it more hospitable. So it looks like fantasy, but it's high sci-fi. And there's even like a later book in the series where like there are literally like people invading from another planet coming down with like laser guns, and these people are like deeply religious, don't know what happens, have no idea about high technology, and end up like actually like getting rid of these people. Somebody gets up to the main mothership and is able to like move the guns which were originally like pointed at the planet as part of their like deterrent of like, hey, if people don't do the religious observances, like these specific ones, shoot the planet. So basically, like they recalibrate the guns, shoot one of the invading ships, and all the invaders leave. It's like a cool interpretation for like angels or something. Yeah, basically. Like in that instance, it's very clear that like they drew inspiration for what they did from mythology and from like modern religion, but in that particular world, it warped wildly after they colonized, and within several generations the truth had just disappeared. But they were really good. It's one of my favorite authors too, Sharon Shin. I think that's how you spell it. But she's done a bunch of like sci-fi books that are really good. I like them a lot, and she's even done some fantasy. They kind of mixed the two a lot when I was a kid. But she did very well for herself. She's one of my favorite authors, period. But that surprised you? Horror, thrillers, mystery. There's sci-fi horror. You're like, yeah, there's some good sci-fi horror out there. Like in terms of gaming, you have things like Dead Space and stuff like that. Yes. Like there's some real good ones like that. Or what was the one where what was it? Where like Event Horizon, is that the sci-fi horror movie where like they like fold space and go through a wormhole, but like then the ship gets possessed and like tries to kill them? I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream is one of your favorite stories. I don't know if I've read that one. I've heard the reference. Post-apocalyptic story. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I ever read the base story for that one. Haven't seen Event Horizon, so not sure. Decent movie. Like it's more like existential dread, because what they're fighting and what they're trying to like stop is like basically like the ship went through the wormhole, everybody died, the ship came back later, maybe, and they're like, wait, where did the ship come from? We lost contact with everybody. And they're going and checking the place out, and everybody's gone, but the ship starts doing weird stuff, and it's like alive and sentient now and deliberately maliciously evil. And it's a good one. It's a real good movie that's just spooky and weird and creepy. I'm pretty sure it's Event Horizon. Yep, Event Horizon. I don't remember the name for that one. A wild Smeargle appears. All right, let's try a new prompt because part of the reason why I'm kind of being a little quiet today is I keep looking through posts and things I created to see if I have any more prompts that I wrote stories about, and I'm not really finding stuff. I've kind of got that one. You know what? I am going to read that one. That was 11. Okay. Yes. So this is a series of poems I did based off of something I found originally on Tumblr. It was a list of words that don't have a corresponding word in the English language. It include like a German word for the feeling of being alone in the woods, or the urge to like pinch or squeeze something that's unbearably cute. Things that we feel in English, like things that are a human feeling, but there is nothing in English as like an expression that describes it. And one of my favorite ones that I wrote there was called L'Esprit d'Escalaire. The feeling you get after leaving a conversation when you think of all the things you should have said. Directly translated, it means the spirit of the staircase. The bitter words and screams and shouts as they laid their grievances out, echoed off the very walls, echoed down the empty halls. Their clamor shook the wooden beams, tempers whistling through the seams. Their words and tempers were so crass, they nearly cracked the window's glass. They left no hurtful words unsaid, favoring their pride instead, as they tried to save face, as they tried to leave that place. Now the house stands cold and bleak, quiet but for every creak, of one who walks with teary eyes, for kindness is unrealized. The Schadenfreude, the Spirit d'Escalaire, I don't think is purely Schadenfreude. It's like that feeling of like when you leave a conversation, you're like, damn it, I should have said that. Like it's that feeling where like you're kind of kicking yourself for not saying something in the conversation. Because the other ones were Walden Samkeit, the feeling of being alone in the woods, which is German. Meraki, which is Greek, which says doing something with soul, creativity, or love. Forelsket, Norwegian, the euphoria you experience when you are first falling in love. Gigil, if I'm saying it right, which I'm probably not. That's Filipino, the urge to pinch or squeeze something that's unbearably cute. Puchamuchka, a person who asks a lot of questions. Pena llena, Mexican Spanish, the embarrassment you feel watching someone else's humiliation. Koalasino, the mark left on table by a cold glass, which is Italian, and then what is this? The Shaluba dialect in the Congo has the word Ilunga, a person who's ready to forgive any abuse the first time, tolerate for it a second time, but never a third time. Oh, Schadenfreude is like a word that doesn't have an English equivalent. Yeah, a little bit. Because, yeah, Schadenfreude is like delighting in someone else's suffering. In English, they're like words that are close. Like, You could call that person a sadist. You could call that person, like, I mean, I'd probably call that person a bit of an asshole myself, but, like, delighting in the suffering of others is a very specific and explicit word or idea. And yeah, there is nothing in English like Schadenfreude. It is. There's a reason why we just call it Schadenfreude. Yeah, that's a good point, Sable. But let's see here. Trying to look at other stuff I wrote here and see what's a good thing to share. Actually, here's a good one to share. I think I shared this with somebody privately recently, but I don't know if it's been a while, I think, since I last shared this publicly. This is a poem I wrote back in 2016 titled My Lucky Day. When someone's got you feeling down and they tell you to turn your frown around, tell them to go fuck themselves. When someone's looking down from their horse and insisting that they're right, of course, tell them to go fuck themselves. When someone's acting like a clown and refusing to back down, tell them to go fuck themselves. When someone's finally had enough and they begin to huff and puff, tell them to go fuck themselves. You see, courtesy's all well and good, but it catches fire just like wood when some ass sets the bridges alight with their pretentious notion of what's right. And you don't have to take that shit from some self-important twit. And when they cease to be kind, you have every right to speak your mind. Don't let them push you around. Plant your feet and stand your ground. Stare them down and say it clear, loud enough for everyone to hear. You can go and fuck yourself. And that's my lucky day. I love that one. That's one of my favorites I've ever written. Because it's just such a sassy asshole poem. I'm just like, yeah, it's my lucky day. Today's the day I'm telling you off. It's my lucky day because you're being a jerk. All right, let's try. Actually, you know what? We're about to tap. Yeah, we're about to get an ad break. So let me tap ad break manually and we'll start the BRB. And I'll be back in a few minutes, folks. All right, everybody, we are back. How you doing? You having a good break? You having a good rest? Have a good relaxation time? Hope so. Do wish I didn't have to play ads, but the internet being what the internet is, it runs on ads, so. Excuse me. Sorry about that. All right. But all right, can't talk. Let's jump to that next prompt. Let's try this out again. Oh, interesting. I don't quite know what I want to do with this. The prompt is, amongst her mother's possessions, she found. Amongst her mother's possessions, she found a gun. It had a 6-bullet chamber, and 2 of the rounds had been fired. She found it in a box with a note that simply read, "For him." The word "him" had been scratched out vigorously several times. There was no other adornment, no other information, no other records. She wasn't sure what to do with this. All she thought was about how when she was a child, her father disappeared and her mother always said he left with another woman and he'd never come back again. Gonna hop off and get some dinner. Have a nice, good rest of your day. Thank you, Sable. You have a good day, too. I'm gonna catch something tonight. Yeah, that was an interesting one of like finding something amongst a parent's possessions and trying to like parse and build something off of that. You could really do almost anything with that particular story because it depends on what you find. I liked the idea of finding like a gun that had several bullets already have been being used, and like the connotations of what that did and didn't mean, and having to like recontextualize a parent as, oh, not only were they not a perfect person, they might have killed somebody and saved the gun. And now here you are digging through an old box, and what'd you find? You found the murder weapon. What do you do with this? I don't know. Hey, nice. I caught that one. But yeah, I always kind of struggle with what to talk about for these chatting nights. It is one of my areas as a streamer that I feel fairly weak with, and that I'm not very strong. Like I can tell I'm messing it up because I'm not even looking at the camera properly. I'm like looking above it at like my browser tabs or things like that. I can't focus up and lock in quite the same way that I'm used to with other stuff. So it's an area that I want to get better, but at the same time, I don't know. I need more practice. I need to be able to do more things. I did find some like exercises a long time ago on like what to do to improve as like just chatting and talking in front of the camera. And maybe I need to sit down and do those again one of these days. Well, not again. Do them for the first time one of these days. But yeah, it's an area where I need to improve. That's one of those useful things with any kind of hobby or interest that you pursue, is taking a critical look at yourself and saying, where do I need to improve? Where do I want to improve? Where would it be best to improve? And yeah, I think that's a valuable thing to learn. Because I think I'm decent at improv and decent at like holding a conversation with another person, but if I don't have another person to work with, that kind of doesn't really work for me. I don't know. It's hard to gauge oneself. I do think I've lost a little bit over these last couple of years of COVID, and I need to get back out again. Once I'm finally out of this quarantine, I am getting out of the house. Like, I was just getting to the point where I wanted to get out of the house and do other things when I caught COVID. So that is just a knife twist of like, oh, you thought you were free? Think again. And yeah, it's not, and it wasn't, and ugh. I think of some of my other poems that are worth sharing. What do I have for categories?
Yes.
Just the one. Okay. So here's an old one of mine that I'm looking at it now. Oh, one worth repeating and thinking about again. So is it from a period of poems I marked as submissions or requests? No indication of who it's from, but the words were living meditation. Though the ground may not be stable and the storm may toss you about, like a bag of dry, brittle leaves, don't forget to breathe. Though you may be surrounded or driven into a corner by all manner of assailants, don't forget to breathe. Though you may find yourself alone before a cold, uncaring world, wanting to cry out for a reason, don't forget to breathe. Reach out and steady yourself. Rise to the challenge of the moment. Stand up, face forward, and as always, don't forget to breathe. Not bad. Oh, man. Man, my back is killing me lately. I need to stretch my legs better. It's one of those things that just sucks when you get older, is your body just gets used to sitting in the same spot, and it's just like, okay, so we live in this position now, and if you ever try and move or leave it, you will be filled with an enormous amount of suffering. And I'm like, but I'm going to need to move in like 5 minutes. And your body's like, 5 minutes? But you've been sitting there for 10,000 years. And it's just like, no, body, no. No, body, no.
Yes.
But drink from over here. Yeah. Not quite sure what to talk about at the moment, so let me jump into Steam collections and see what other games we got for streaming options. Oh, I wish I jumped to the store page right away. Tactical RPG. It's kind of an old one though. 2014. Another tactics game. Tactics game. Okay, Cassette Beast I can probably take off this list. Because I've played that already. Cat Quest 2 I've been playing a little already. There's Coastal Lamb. I could redo Death's Door. I played that on my own, and that was fun. I really ought to get in, like, Fury. I don't know. Fury is a very good boss rush game. That's very challenging, but also it's really intense concentration from what I remember of it. And I never actually beat that game. I got some visual novels. Got Mercenaries Blaze, which is a game that I had on my schedule at one point and then like took off and changed. So yeah, that'll be an interesting one. I could do Spiritfarer. I've heard good things about that game. Emotional, story-rich indie management game. Titan Souls, I don't think I'm gonna want to play. That one is a bit too. I've played Titan Souls. I don't like it very much. There's quite a few. Do Toem.
Yes.
It's another option. Oh, if I expand it and include the games that are not just installed, I've got a lot more options. Oh yeah, I've got like a Dragon, Valkyria Chronicles, a couple RPGs, Short Hike. Yeah, got a few more options. Little to the left will remove from streaming games because I have beaten that one already. I don't know, maybe I should replay the Dishonored games because I did like those. I remember like playing through Dishonored 1 and just getting to a spot and being like, I don't care anymore. Which is a shame. I remember liking them a lot. I had to do Bulletstorm on stream one day. That game is just glorious chaos. Like I said, there's just a lot of games where I'm like, I'd play this, but I also don't care about playing this. I'm feeling very meh about this game. But I could always do another run through of Hades or Hades 2. Because I haven't done those before. I did do Hi-Fi Rush. Man, I am bad at removing games from this list. Got Little Gator Game, which is its own fun little thing. I mean, I've always got the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, but I remember not enjoying Mass Effect 1 all that much. That's a very old game, because that's 10 to 15 years old. Something like that. It's a bit crazy. Already done Rack and Ruin. I don't think I'd do Rogue Legacy again on stream. Shadows of Loathing or West of Loathing, could do either of those. Oh boy, brain's getting real sleepy. I have a feeling tonight's not going to be too long of a night. Just based off of how sweepy I am. But let's try another prompt here. The kiss reminded him of chemistry lessons in school. When if the right two elements were put together, they'd explode. I don't like that prompt very much. Well, that's actually a bit of an interesting one, because you could write it in the very obvious, like, the kiss, like, is exploding, and it's all these great, grand, fantastical things. But I'm not in the mood to explore that tonight, like, as a writing thing, but also at the same time, you could subvert this particular prompt and be like, if the right two elements were put together, they'd explode. He felt no explosions with this person. This kiss was dry and wet at the same time. Awkward, embarrassing. Why did he do this? I'd probably write that one of just like, okay, so that, yeah, we the kissing wasn't good. So we're, have a good life. I'm just gonna go. That's very awkward. He knew he must keep very still while he waited. New prompt. Alone in the dark, with nothing more than his thoughts to keep him company, he waited on bated breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He counted his heartbeats as they rung out. He didn't know how long it would take. It would be soon. Not soon enough. The weight was killing him. And the fact that he had to stay very still while they waited was even more unbearable. He wanted to jump, he wanted to shout, he wanted to hoot and holler, but it's not time yet. And then he heard it. The key slid into the lock. The door opened. The light switch turned on. And he, along with everybody else in the room, jumped up and yelled, "Surprise!" That's a fun one. 'Cause I looked at that one of like, he must keep very still while he waited, and I could have done a Jurassic Park with that one, but instead I did like a birthday party.
Yes.
That's a fun idea to work with. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not sure how I'm feeling tonight, but I don't think I'm as good entertainment as I'd like to be. So I'm gonna send you folks off to somebody with my well wishes and my love. But let's see who's available. Who's around? Got them. Just doing a thing. Somebody doing ASMR. You know what? It's been a little while since I rated or interacted with this person, so let's send you over here. This is a VTuber artist by the name of It's Bear VTuber. Assuming I can rate into them. Looks like they're doing a just chatting stream tonight, so. Alright everybody, have a good rest of your night. Sorry I was a little low energy tonight, not sure what's going on, but our next stream should be Friday. We're going to do some more Wargroove that night. Take care everybody, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.